Imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing $1 million sitting in your bank account. At first, that sounds life-changing, and it would be. But in today's economy, we all know the reality. With the cost of living, housing, and a few bad spending habits, that money could realistically be gone in under a year. So let's flip the scenario. Instead of waking up tomorrow, imagine you wake up 100 years ago. It's 1926. There's no internet, no credit cards, no modern medicine, but somehow you still have that same $1 million adjusted to today's value with no inflation applied. So the question becomes, what kind of life could you actually live? Would you be rich, or would you practically be royalty? And more importantly, would your life actually be better than it is today? Let's break it down. In 1926, the average worker earned about $1,300 per year, which came out to roughly $2 to $5 a day. A solid middle-class home cost around $5,000, and if you really wanted to flex, $40,000 could buy you a massive mansion. Now here's where things get interesting. You're not bringing 1926 money with you, you're bringing modern money. That means your $1 million would have the purchasing power of over $15 million in 1926. And at that point, we're not talking about being upper class. We're not even talking about being elite. You'd be operating on the level of industrial tycoons and banking families, people who controlled factories, railroads, and entire industries. Not quite on the level of names like J.P. Morgan or Henry Ford, who had 5 to 10 times that amount, but close enough to live in the same world they did. In the 1920s, most people ate very simple diets. Bread was the foundation of nearly every meal. Stews were common, often stretched for days to feed entire families. Vegetables were seasonal and limited. Meat was usually preserved with salt, since fresh meat spoiled quickly. Fresh meat was usually eaten only a few times a week, if that. Coffee, sugar, chocolate, and spices were considered luxury items. Many people never tasted imported foods at all, but with the amount of money you hold, life looked very different. You could afford fresh meat every single day, purchased locally and prepared immediately. You could buy imported coffee, refined sugar, chocolate, and spices from overseas, foods that were normally out of reach. And instead of cooking yourself, you could hire private chefs to prepare every meal. You would be eating foods that most people in the 1920s experienced only on holidays, weddings, or special occasions. For you, it wouldn't be a celebration. It would be everyday life. Just remember to not let all those calories catch up to you. When it came to transportation, you would have the celebrity treatment. You wouldn't be riding horseback like most of these people. You also weren't squeezing yourself into public transport or checking timetables for your next available ride. You bought the finest automobiles ever made at the time. Hand-assembled with polished leather seats, interiors, and engines so quiet it would feel like you're driving a hybrid. You wouldn't even have to drive. Full-time chauffeurs trained to handle the car, roads, and your schedule all while you sat back and enjoyed the world. Even for long distances, trains weren't crowded and uncomfortable. You could own your own private rail car with all the additives you need tailored right to you. These rails bent around your life. You didn't rush anywhere or even wait in lines. Time literally adjusted to you. Let's say you did something illegal. Do not worry. This money has you covered. Bribes were huge back in the day. You could pay off judges for crimes against humanity no one would ever think of, and have it swept under the rug like nothing ever happened. You could hire entire mob groups to execute the people that you didn't like. Someone said something a little off to you? Dead. Someone who stole your parking spot? Dead. Someone looked at you funny? Also dead. Mistakes didn't have to follow you. They literally just disappeared with the power of money. Here's the part that sounds surreal, but really isn't. Governments 100 years ago were constantly broke. Wars were super expensive. They usually ran on loans and the taxes were never enough. They didn't ask citizens for help. They asked people like you. With the near 15 million in the early 1900s buying power, you could finance weapons and manufacturing, pay for all the uniforms, ammo, ships, and rail transport, and lend massive sums directly to the government. All while you sat back in your comfortable mansion. While these soldiers marched, you would be getting paid interest. You weren't rooting for any side. You rooted for repayment. If one side won, you got paid. If they lost, you renegotiated. Either way, at the end of the day, you didn't lose sleep, because while others went to war, you were getting paid. So let me know in the comments, what would you buy with your money 100 years ago? And would you like living 100 years ago better than today?